Greetings to you, our dear viewers, and welcome to today's episode of Lumen Conversations Unscripted. My name is Macy Mushanga. I'm not alone in the studio. I'm joined by Sydney, and also joining us today is Mr. Chileshe Kandeta. Sir, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Macy. Thank you, Sydney.
You're welcome, Chair. So, dear viewers, Mr. Chileshe Kandeta is the chairman for the Catholic Men organization here in the Archdiocese of Lusaka, and we are glad to welcome you and to discuss or to conversate with the chairperson of the men's. And talking about, obviously, when he's around, we are talking about issues to do with the laity and the church.
Indeed.
Yes, Mr. Chileshe. How has the men in the Archdiocese been performing?
Well, that is an interesting question. How have they been performing? I think they're performing well. In my view, they are performing well looking at where we are coming from, say, 4-5 years ago and in the past. We've gone through a transformation which has been obviously shepherded by the Curia, and the Archbishop has been in the forefront to say that men in the Archdiocese begin to actively participate in the activities of the Archdiocese through their parishes and small Christian communities. We are seeing some slight change, but we could do better.
Okay. So, one would want to, I know there is this issue of wanting to mobilize the men from the dioceses or from the small Christian communities to the deaneries up to the Archdiocese level and the like. One may ask, what is the importance of that?
It's extremely important, as I alluded to earlier on. I think the church needs to continue to grow. And for some time, I think we've left that role to our mothers and the young people. As men, we've stood by, thinking things should shepherd themselves. They can't. We need to play a role, a guiding role. We need to play a facilitating role. We need to play a role for mobilizing resources for the church to sustain itself. What does this entail? This entails that, at the small Christian community level, as men, we need to take part in what is happening in our communities, because that's where we live. We need to know the people we are living with, apart from just the regular neighbors who may be a mix of, who may have a mix of backgrounds. What about the fellow Catholics who are in that neighborhood, who are in that community? Are there things we can do together to do charity works, to build the faith together, to look after each other, to visit each other, to attend to each other's needs, which are maybe far away from the parish? We need to do those things in the small Christian communities. We also need to do those things in the lay groups, and we have been encouraging men under the Catholic Men's Organization to say, the CMO is the umbrella board for men. But on your own, there are certain charisms that you may wish to pursue. So join a lay organization in your parish, a lay group in your parish, to build on your charism as an individual. For instance, myself, I'm in the Legion of Mary at St. Ignatius Parish. One of my vice chairpersons, Mr. Grevaza Zulu, is in the radio also. But the other one, Dr. Malama, is in the Sacred Franciscan Tertiary. The General Secretary is Joachim, and so on. So we have a mix of all these people from lay groups that come together to constitute what is called the Catholic Men's Organization. We move from there, we come to the parishes. At parish level, the parish has got programs. Apart from the regular Mass, which we need to attend as Catholics because that is our faith, that is our major prayer, what else is the parish doing in the locality where we are? We need to take part in these things. Talking about taking part and encouraging men to take part in the activities of the church, during our annual general meeting on the 1st of February, His Grace the Archbishop was kind enough to launch a schedule of Mass. What does it mean? What it means is that we've drawn a schedule of Mass in each parish in the Archdiocese for Sunday Mass, just Sunday Mass. So every Sunday there is a Mass that happens in all the 80 parishes plus in the and centers in the Archdiocese. So we've developed a schedule which shows this parish there is a Mass at 7 hours, there is a Mass at 8:30, there is a Mass at 10 hours, there is a Mass at 11:30. Why is that important? It is important because sometimes as men, to some extent, some ladies, youths, we have this excuse to say, I didn't know what time the next Mass was. You have no excuse now. We have times for every single parish in the Archdiocese. Look at this Mass schedule and it will show you what time the Mass is in this parish. That is our contributing to getting men, to getting the laity to participate in the activities of their parish. We move from there, we now come to the structure of the CMO vis-a-vis the deaneries and the Archdiocese and of course with our leadership, the Curia. What does it mean? What it means is that in every parish we have a CMO structure which looks after the interests of the men in that parish. And as I indicated earlier on, the Catholic Men's Organization is not a regular lay group. It's just a coordinating mechanism for men. If you are 21 years and above, you are CMO. There's nothing like, if you no join, no. Are you a man? Yes. Are you 21 years? Yes. It's automatic. So you need to take part in the activities at the parish. But these parishes are organized in smaller groups which are called deaneries. And these smaller groups in the Archdiocese are 12 of them. We have 12 deaneries spreading from Luangwa to Lusaka, to Luangwa. We have Luangwa, we have Chelston, we have Ibex, we have Longacres, we have Chawama, Chilanga, Kanyama, Kabanana, Kafue, Matero, Roma, and Mumbwa. These are the deaneries in the Archdiocese. These deaneries, as I said, they have smaller groups of parishes which are located in an identical corner of the Archdiocese. But these are also expected to come together for certain activities that happen in those localities for men. Pull the men together, do certain things together, so that when we have certain events at the ADL which require deaneries to participate, we do know that these have been working together, they can do this work together. So now we do have, for instance, programs at ADL level which are specifically for deaneries. So we ask these deaneries to participate. There are just 12 of them, and they organize themselves. It's up to them how they organize themselves. But what we expect is that they are going to bring men to participate in these activities so that we can, progressively contribute to the need for the church to be sustained, to the need for the church to meet its needs, to the need for the church to meet the requirements, the pastoral requirements of the church. And I'll come, if you have a question, I'll come there later on, because that is a big part of the role of the CMO. So there are many ways of answering your question, but in a nutshell, I think through the different structures of the church, we try to ensure that, we encourage the men to participate, but our mothers are doing something similar. They are doing something similar with the men, and the structures are identical. Working together, we can only make the church better together.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, when you talk about the needs of the church and you say pastoral needs, whatever, there could be some people who don't understand what are the pastoral needs. Maybe you can mention some of them.
The way maybe for in simpler terms, maybe let's start from the role of the of the priest. The priest is there to help us, through the journey of salvation. The priest needs to do pastoral works for them to be able to help us. They need to be in an area, a defined area, which is called a parish. And the other parish, there is a church. And this church needs to be looked after. This priest needs to move. This priest needs to be looked after as an individual. This priest needs to be assisted in terms of the charity works of the church. This priest, or the church rather, needs to be assisted in terms of meeting some of its obligations, like looking after certain aspects of its schools and missions. So when you talk about pastoral works, it's a very broad subject that is related to the everyday goings on in the archdiocese through the respective deaneries and parishes. And speaking about pastoral works, as men in the archdiocese of Lusaka, we've been assigned a duty to raise what is called the pastoral fund. Pastoral fund is a fund that is supposed to be contributed by any man who is Catholic 21 years and above. Irrespective of where you are in the archdiocese, for the good things that the church has done for you, for the good things that the church has done for your family, for the good things that the church continues to do in your community. Of course, God has blessed you. We could be going through some rough patches as individuals, but on the overall, we have the blessing of life, we have the blessing of family, we have the blessing of community, we have the blessing of an education, others have the blessing of a job, others have a blessing of skills and all this. For all those things, God says, is it possible, my son, that you can just contribute 100 kwacha the whole year, January to December, just 100 kwacha? Is it possible that you can give me 100 kwacha so that I help those who are unable to meet certain expenses within the spectrum of the church, so that I help the archbishop to do boreholes in XYZ community, so that I help the archbishop to buy a boat for this community in Nampundo area, so that I help the archbishop to meet the insurance needs of priests, medical insurance. You and me, we may be on NIMA, but they are on a certain medical insurance schemes. Who pays for that? Someone has to pay for that. So the church is saying, can we contribute something as men towards the pastoral needs, the pastoral works of the archdiocese? What else does that fund do? You know that as at now, our youth don't contribute yet to in that manner. Our moms, they have got what they call seminarian fund, which is for the training of seminarians. We have pastoral fund. It is from the pastoral funds that Holy Child do activities and youth activities at the archdiocese level, and in many cases deaneries. Those costs are met from the pastoral fund. Now, why is it important? It's important to ensure that the youth those people who consider them youth, but they are 21 years and above and they are men, they need to begin to contribute. Because those expenses which are incurred by the archdiocese, they come from the finances that are contributed by the men. Now, if you are a man and you are 21 years and above, why don't you give up? Maybe like it, on Valentine's Day, why don't you give up your lunch?
And contribute.
And contribute. Or why don't you take a lesser meal? And just save 100 kwacha and contribute. Why don't you stay away from, some merrymaking for one weekend and contribute? Why don't you stay away from social media and all this? Just for one weekend the whole year. You save 100 kwacha and you contribute. It is so important. This subject is so important because Sydney and Mercy, there are parishes in this archdiocese where the Sunday collection may just be 50 kwacha, others 30 kwacha. But they need a priest to offer Eucharist. They need a priest to attend to the sick. Sometimes they move. They need a priest to attend to funerals. They need a priest to meet this and that. I'll give you a personal example and I'll ask for your patience. Between grade 6 and grade 12, I did grade 6 primary, not grade 7, in Kafue at a primary school called Kasenji. I did my secondary school at Nawoye. During this period, me and my siblings were being looked after by a single mom. You're getting me? There are times when she won't meet certain of our needs. Okay? Maybe I'll go and ask her, at school they need this, and by the way, I'm number 1 of 5. We lost a sister, so we are just 4. I want you to follow me. Now, when certain needs are not met by my mother, I will go to the parish, to Father Eddie at that time, Father Joseph also, to say, Bambo, I need this and this. My mother bought me this, but at school I don't have this. Father will get sometimes some money to give me. Father will get sometimes maybe a t-shirt they give you, or maybe some books. It didn't register at that time where that priest was getting money from. We all knew that ningati nibe something zaenda kuliwa Bambo, I'll explain about Vazani Pasa. That is the pastoral fund which was being raised by the communities of those Bazungu priests at that time. We're just saying, mama watumina ndrama kuchoka ku Italy. It's pastoral fund. It's pastoral fund. So the missionaries have become old, most of them. We don't have new missionaries coming from abroad because the church has grown and has done a tremendous job training our own people. But how do we look after them so that they can extend their help to some? That child who wants to go to school, but their parent is unable to meet one or another item like I went through. These things, when you are a parishioner at St. Ignatius, when you are a parishioner at Mary Immaculate, at St. Joseph in Chilenje, sometimes they may not be obvious. But there are parishes out there that need this help. And we are men, we are Catholics. We cannot fail to look after the church. There are people who have come before us, they've looked after the church for 2,000 years. How can we fail?
Yeah, and in the Archdiocese of Lusaka, such parishes, we have them like in Chiawa.
Chiawa, there are there, Mumbwa, in Luangwa, Funsa, those. There are many.
Yes, and equally even in the entire Church of Zambia.
In the
we
entire
have
church.
rural dioceses. So this message resonates with every diocese and every man wherever.
Every man. Thank you, Sydney, for giving me this opportunity to extend this message to every man. You're a Catholic, you're a man. Let's together look after the church. Because let's spend a bit of time on this. When you're unwell, you need a priest to come and attend to you. But this priest will need fuel, need this. When you've lost your son, you've lost your mom, you've lost your dad, there's a funeral, you need the church to offer you a mass, isn't it? Your son, your daughter, your sister, your niece, they'll get married. They'll need marriage to be blessed. All those are expenses sometimes. They are expenses. How do we continue to ensure that these things are available? We need to look after the church ourselves. We need to look after the church ourselves. How do we look after the church? We look after the church sometimes by participating in the business ventures of the church, like Lumen. If I have something to advertise and I'm a parish, why don't I advertise it on Lumen TV and give them something? If I have something important to commemorate and I really need this to be, to be shown on TV, I come to Lumen TV, I give, a token appreciation to Lumen TV, and they do this for me. I'm a parish and I'm doing a jubilee. Why should I plan a jubilee and hope that Lumen will come and cover me free of charge? They should not come and cover you free of charge, These are expensive. They need to pay salaries for these workers. They need to maintain the equipment. They need to do all this. They need to buy video cards and all this. This is my word. It's not your word. Don't say, Lumen TV will come back somehow. We need to participate. If there are vitenges being sold at the bookshop or at your parish, buy from the parish. Don't buy from XYZ in Kamal. Try and buy from the parish. Why? Because when you buy from the parish, the money remains in the parish to support the parish.
Actually, Mr. Kandeta, you are right, because like you've said, if there is someone who wants to do any function, they need Lumen, they need to give something. But also even the programs that we just do here, there are programs that educate people on their faith. We do masses here. So all those are in a way an expense, and the people that are benefiting from them should not expect those others, first of all, who are not Catholic, to help. It starts with every Catholic. Every Catholic.
Yes. We need to help. And talking about the everyday mass, thank you very much. As and when there is time, sometimes it's difficult. We gather at home and we enjoy the evening mass. Switch off the TV, light up the candle, there's the Bible there, and put the candles one here beside the TV, and everyone is quiet, no phone, no one moving. It's just 30 minutes. And the day ends so well. Thank you very much to Lumen TV.
Now, Mr. Kandeta, let me take you back. You talked of the schedule for the masses that you, as ADL, CMO, have come up with. Where can, people are full of excuses. Where can they find these schedules?
Well, for now, we've just published it on our platform, CMO platforms, and the chair for the Catholic Women's Organization, Arina May, has been kind enough to be reached out to. So we've asked her to see if she can help, to share this, message on the platforms for our mothers. However, there are one or two corrections that we need to make before we have printed versions, which printed versions we are going to circulate to parishes through the respective CMO structures. But what is important is to just have a copy on your phone. Keep a copy on your phone. Let your wife, your niece, your daughter, everyone in the family keep a copy. You can even print it out yourself. Print a copy yourself. Paste it somewhere where everybody can see. Yeah, then I think that will also help.
Okay, interesting. So I will take you back. First, I will start by saying thank you for educating us on the pasture fund, because like growing up till now, I always think and I know that those missionaries that we have, their families are the ones that send money to them, and that money does not come from pasture fund. Until now, that's what I know. So we know that when there are Zungus, when you have a Muzungu in the parish as a priest, their money would be coming from their families. Then secondly, I want to ask, you said every man who is 21 years and above belongs to the Catholic Men Organization. So in the parishes, do we have like an executive before they go to like the archdiocese level? And in case someone didn't know, like we have relatives who are like 21 years and above and they do not participate, they do not pay that 100 kwacha. Yes, where do they take? Do they take it to the parishes? Do parishes have like an executive, or it's to take to the treasurer, like on the archdiocese level?
This is a very, very important question. Thank you very much. Yes, on the issue of missionaries, yes, there are some missionaries that receive resources from their families, but to a large extent, some of them receive these resources from their sponsoring entities. And those sponsoring entities, they raise that fund somehow. And they raise it for the pastoral works of those missionaries. Coming to pastoral fund and, maybe still talking about families, if we can together go back a bit. A Zambian priest has been raised by a family. This family has taken them to primary school, to secondary school, and part of it to the seminary. Do we really want the family to continue to look after this priest? Let's vote here. Me, I'm saying no. What I say?
No.
Sydney?
I'm saying no, because once he becomes a priest, he's a priest for all.
Everyone. He's a priest for all of us. So now that we agree that he's a priest for all of us need to participate in the training of the priest through seminarian fund. I don't know what the age limit is for mummies. Maybe the chair one day can come and guide. Okay. But for many, let us look after these priests. Everyone 21 years and above. And yes, there are structures at the parish level. The pastoral fund is collected at the parish level. So each parish is given a target. And the parishes are in what are called tiers. A tier is a certain grade of a certain group. So we have 6 tiers. Tier 1, that is where we will find, just an example, parishes like St. Ignatius, Mary Immaculate, Roma, Charleston, Charles Rwanga, all these parishes. And for the CMO, we've given these tier 1 parishes for this year a target of 110,000 per parish. Raise 110,000. It looks big to you, but do you know what the highest amount was last year for pastoral fund? 206 St. Ignatius. So even if we've given them 110,000, they're saying, hey, look here, we know what is happening. We know the needs of the church. Because for St. Ignatius, now that there are even the parish that have sponsored the Vicar General to serve in the archdiocese, they're even more aware of the needs of the archdiocese. They're saying 110, that's okay. We'll give 206. So what does that mean? What it means is that for this year, they have to beat the 206. Although us, we're only asking for 110. So we have another set of parishes where you'll find the parishes like, Mary Mother of the Redeemer in Matero, this 75. Then we have another group of parishes. These ones we are telling them, just give us 55. Another group, it's 40. Then the 5th group is 25. Then the last group where you find my friends in Chiawa and what, these are still growing. These are small communities. These are communities where they're just old people and a few farmers, 1 or 2 teachers, 3 or 4 nurses. We are saying, okay, see how you can organize yourselves, just give us 12,500. So these monies are supposed to be contributed at the parish level. parish level. Why is that important? Because this group, whom we have given 12,500, when it comes to 25th of October, which is the day for pastoral fund presentation, we are going to say, hey, group, in your group, who contributed better than all the others? Well done for this. So we take the top 3 in each group, each of the 6 groups, and we give them an award called the Pastoral Fund Award. And these awards are given by the Archbishop. And the next Pastoral Fund presentation is on 25th October. And to just clarify this matter, the Pastoral Fund presentation is held in a selected deanery on the last Saturday of October every year. So you can plan for the next 30 years. As long as it's last Saturday of October, there will be a Pastoral Fund presentation. And maybe on that aspect for Sydney and Messi, you can allow me to just talk about the next 2 minutes, the other activities for the CMO.
But maybe before that, Chair, just like you said, St. Ignatius is asked to contribute 110, but it goes beyond.
Yes.
Maybe you can say, emphasize also on the 100 kwacha. I suppose that is also like a minimum.
The 100 kwacha is a minimum.
So
the most important thing is, do you really feel you should contribute 100 kwacha, given all the blessings? Your child has a good marriage. You have a good marriage, you yourself. God has blessed you with a child. God has blessed you with a promotion. Look at the entire blessings that God has given. Do you think you should just end up at 100? So, contribute to that extent. If you think 5,000 will represent your family well, or you as an individual, give 5,000. But the minimum that we ask, thank you for that correction, is 100 kwacha.
Maybe at this time, Chair, you can tell us what program do you have for the year as ADL CMO?
Very, very important. To begin with, we've now included in the CMO calendars 4 important ADL events. These are not CMO events. These are events for every Catholic in the Archdiocese. Number 1, we have said in the CMO calendar, we will include the Prism Mass by the Archbishop. Prism Mass by the Archbishop, which is this year is on the 15th of April. And we're asking all men to come there with their families, which is the next ADL event. The next ADL event, when I say ADL, I mean for everyone, yes, not just CMO. The next one is the ordination. The ordination is coming on the 4th of August. We are saying, can we go there and receive, our mothers are handing over these seminarians to the church. The Archbishop is converting them into priests. Can we as men go to this ordination and receive them, because they become our responsibility, and they become our responsibility through the pastoral fund that will be contributing. Let's go and witness this very beautiful ceremony, receive them. So when is this? 4th of August. The next ADO level event is 15th August, which is the ADO pilgrimage. We are saying, can we, together with all the other Catholics in the Archdiocese, participate in this event? The last ADO level event, I think, is on 8th December, which is the ordination for deacons. Yeah, let's go and participate. But those are the big events. We have our own CMO specific events. Number 1 is coming on 1st May. 1st May, we have 2 aspects. St. Joseph the Worker Medal of Honor, aspect number 1. And St. Joseph the Worker Talent Festival, aspect number 2. What does aspect number 1 entail? What aspect number 1 entails is that we identify men 70 years and above who meet a certain criteria from a particular deanery to be recognized as St. Joseph the Worker Medal of Honor recipients from each deanery. And we have 12 of these men plus 3 that come from lay groups, and they are given an award in a mass that is held at the Cathedral of the Child Jesus Pop Square on every 1st May. From our assessment, this is the biggest of the CMO events. In terms of attendance, it's even bigger than the Pastoral Fund. The second part is of the day is the singing festival for dinneries. So dinneries come together to do a singing festival. In the talent festival, in the past, it had the singing, drama, poetry, and other things. This year, going forward, we are only restricting this to singing only. So this event is just for dinneries. We go to the next event. The next event is a pilgrimage for the CMO, and it is on 30th August. The next event is what we call the Fishers of Men event. The Fishers of Men event, this is an event for parishes. Parishes will come together, they give us registers of men in the parish. These registers give us an assessment, give us a perspective in terms of how have they done to recruit more men to participate in the activities of a respective parish. We do an assessment. We say, okay, you have done well, you have more men, number one. You have a little bit less men, number two. You, just like that. It's just as simple as that. And we want to extend this to what we call Vocations Day. And what do we mean? Vocations Day, we didn't have a good word, but what it means is that this is the day when men who are in lay groups can come and speak to the rest of the men about what their lay group is all about. Because as you know, there are many men who just walk in church, they walk out. They don't go to Chitente, they don't go to a lay group. And we have created this day through the Archbishop's authority to say, can we come and talk to the men and persuade them to join the Reg, persuade them to join the Catholic Men's League, persuade them to join the Actual and other lay group in the church. And the last big event is the Pastoral Fund, as I said, on the 25th of October. So these constitute the plan of action, the plan of work for the rest of the year for the CMO. And we believe there are good programs which help to bring men together, to show love, to give hope to the youth, to give hope to families, and they are, above all, good examples of fraternity, which goes with what the pilgrimage of hope theme is talking about. We leave those things in the CMO, but we want more people to participate so that that dream of the pilgrimage can be as visible as possible in the ADL.
Wonderful explanation, Chair. Maybe at this moment you can also, you made some adjustments to the ADL CMO logo. Is there something you can share with those that perhaps would have missed the explanation and the way the new logo looks?
Okay, oh yes, I have it here, yeah. The old logo was created in 2021, July. At that time, the instruction by His Grace the Archbishop was, can you create a CMO logo that reflects the Archdiocese? We went on with my colleagues. Sydney was part of the group at the time, and created this logo in 2021, July. Over time, we noticed that on the logo, people write things, around the logo. Why? Because they were being asked by other people, what does this mean? For instance, you have CMS there. If it didn't have those words which saying Catholic Media Services, someone wouldn't know what CMS is all about. So our logo just had ADL CMO. So some people were asking, what is this? So each time people have to explain. So the men said, can we just add some writing? And that is how we put this writing. Archdiocese of Lusaka, Catholic Men's Organization. To make it clear to everyone that this is the logo for the Archdiocese of Lusaka, Catholic Men's Organization. Now you will say, but this thing which is looking like a ribbon, what is this? This is a very complex item, but this is what appears on the Archbishop's emblem. As you see, it has got four nodes at the bottom, and this is identical with the archdioceses. When you see this item which has 4 nodes, it means it's an archdiocese. If you see one which ends at 3 nodes, it means it's a diocese. So what it means for the CMO, I don't know whether the viewers are seeing this. There are these items in the corner which look like arrows pointing inwards. What those mean is that we need to put together from whichever direction we are towards the mission of Christ, centered in the mission of the archdiocese. The mission of the archdiocese is what we should all contribute to in order to achieve the mission of Christ in the archdiocese and the church in general. Then below the cathedral, you can see some green lawn there. This, reflects our commitment to the Pope Francis's Laudato Si, encyclic, where he decreed that it is important for us to live one with the environment. As a men, as a Catholics, as a parishes, as small Christian communities, lay groups, let us do what we can to ensure that the spaces where we worship from, these are the churches, they are clean and green. Clean and green. We need to ensure that, the spaces where Lumen TV operates from are clean and green. Lumen TV, they are doing a building, they will be moving to another building. If you are a landscaper, you are an expert landscaper, come and show us what you can do. Donate to the church by doing landscaping at Lumen TV studios. Don't come and do landscaping and then you give a bill to Mason City. Yeah, you can do it for free sometimes. That's how. Even if you do that, we can't come and pester you with the pastoral fund. Then there's all this whiteness which talks of about purity. But then you say, but why is it round? This round. A circle means completeness. A circle means oneness. A circle means equality without any class or whatever distinction you want to bring in. We are Catholic. So long as you are Catholic, we are one. In the eyes of the archdiocese, in the eyes of the church, in the eyes of the Lord. When we are a circle, it means we are complete, we are one. This is basically what this logo means for Sydney. Archdiocese of Lusaka, Catholic Men's Organization, ADLCMO.
Great. Now, Chair, talking about the laity, the men in particular, nowadays we are seeing that, first of all, maybe it was just Ndola and Lusaka doing the activities of pastoral fund, but I think all the dioceses have come on board.
They are doing well.
What does it make you feel?
This is excellent. We've seen this happening in Kasama. We've seen this happening in Pika and in many other places. This is excellent. What it means is that the people of Zambia in general, who are Catholics, are beginning to accept the responsibility to look after the church. It is important because today you'll be Sydney, general manager, Lumen in Lusaka. Tomorrow they'll say, go and open a branch in Kasama. Go and open a branch in Kasama. How are you going to operate? You can only operate if you are looking at the church as one. There's no, at some point, of course, beyond dioceses, there's now the Zambian church. It should be looked at one. Today you work here, tomorrow you work in another diocese. Yes. Tomorrow you work in another diocese. Today you are here, tomorrow your son or your nephew or your daughter is posted to Mansa diocese, and they work for 2 years. Then they are getting married. Then they say, Mom and Dad, I'm not coming to do my wedding at St. Ignatius. You have to come to my parish here. Now, if we are creating division, if we are looking at kujani kumansa, kujani kuchani, we'll think, why mwana huyu achoka kuna kuchani achipeleka kuja? It is the same church. It is the same church. We just hope that more and more men in different dioceses, in different priests, all the groups across the land, all small Christian communities across the land can begin to participate in the activities of the church, because there is something which as men I think we have neglected, which is looking after and mentoring the youth. A few days ago, you and me, we saw videos of some youths at Cafe Roundabout there who are terrorizing people. Those youths are coming from our communities. Those youths are coming from our families. Those youths are our nephews and our sons. Is there something we can say to them which will help them stay away from activities like that? Is there something we can avail to them which will help them move away from that into something more useful for the family, for the community? That has to be done by you and me as men, not only in the Archdiocese of Lusaka, but across the land. What is happening is exciting, but we should do a bit more and more. Everyone, every man who is Catholic, we need to do a bit more. What we're doing is excellent, but let's do a bit more if we can, because our capacity, the possibilities to do better is infinite. It's infinite. Next question, Anes. Mwina funso. Bazimai. In fact, I'll tell the chair late. Even if women, you should put 21 years. So that you begin to contribute. Because Bazimai, naturally, you mature earlier than men. Small men in Sydney. So why even in fact even 20,
we need
seminary and fund. Osakama here in the youth, come out if 34, you are a general manager at youth.
Yes, I think they also need to start contributing at an earlier stage. You should kindly talk to the Catholic.
I think they are doing a tremendous job on
they are already doing a tremendous job, so they don't need us.
No.
I was requesting that they should come here and obviously encourage also the young ones, but then you've answered. You've said they're already doing well on their own, so we are safe. They're already doing well.
They are doing well, but they can do even better.
They're already doing even better.
They can do better if we all participate. But we all need to participate.
No, we'll surely start participating in the near future.
You know, we all need to participate so that we get to fun to the younger ones. They can begin. I miss it.
We can inspire the young ones.
I think, Chair and Missy, one of the things that should make us be worried is, look, was it 2017, 2014 when we were celebrating 125 years of Catholic faith?
Yes.
And imagine when you listen to some people at Vatican, we are still regarded as a young church, a baby church, 125. So it's only when we are able to feed ourselves, when we are able to sustain ourselves.
Exactly.
And we have our own priests, the local priests, like Chair is saying, when they are ordaining priests, we need to be there to support, because this is one way of inspiring even the younger ones to join, so that we have got enough priests.
Yes.
When we have enough priests, we are not asking for priests from somewhere. Then we're a mature church. You see?
And
so those are the things that, and you're also paying pastoral fund.
Indeed. No, that's very important. You know, we are still a young church, because I mean, it's just like, I'm staying with my mother. I'm 40 years old. The way she would treat me is different from the way she would treat with my 25-year-old brother who is an MP. It's different. I mean, it's natural. So it's the same with us. If we win ourselves from dependence on the outside church, then the maturity will come in. Maturity will come in. We begin to pass kwa roho mkangono because kulima church outside Zambia which are struggling.
We begin to give even priests outside. Then we mature church. Now, Chair, this year was pronounced by Pope Francis as the year of the Jubilee. Jubilee of hope, and that we are pilgrims of hope. Yeah. What would be your message to that man who is in the entire church of Zambia, who is just seated there, not participating, no communion, not on mission in this Jubilee of hope? What is your hope as ADL CMO?
Our hope is to say that, more and more men, come to the church. More and more men participate in the activities of the small Christian communities. More and more men, join lay groups. More and more men play mentorship roles for young people. More and more men demonstrate in their communities how a family should be looked after, how a man should guide their children, in the mission of Christ, or shepherd their family towards Christ. Of course, the Catholic Church allows a lot of things, but what it requires is for us to exercise the good judgment. So to the extent that we have all these things around us which are worldly, we encourage more and more men to exercise good judgment in how we handle community issues. We need to demonstrate justice. We need to demonstrate, care for the church. We need to demonstrate care for our families, and we need to be to give hope to our families and to the church and to the people that we interact with. And I always sometimes use the saying that when people look at you at church, whom do they say you are? When you come home, there are many of us who have got names. Have you, instead of, hey, why monetizing, have you ever sat down to find out why you called this name? Yes, because that is what you portray. Abuela ninja. You in the bedroom, Abuela ninja. Is that because that is what you are portraying? So don't be angry. Abuela chakola. And then kumarumu azamba kuvuta pano nzamchita ando. Your wife says that. Because that is what you are portraying. So what the church is asking us is to give our families, to give each other a bit hope. For those who are downtrodden and they've lost hope, my brother out there, do not lose hope. Don't lose hope. Have faith. Have faith, the faith that our Mother Mary demonstrated to us when the wine finished at the wedding of Cana, and she says, do as it tells you. Manaya, that's the wedding man. Do as it tells you. Throughout Jesus' life, she demonstrated hope for us. She was there when he was being incarcerated. She was there at the foot of the cross. She didn't imagine if it was a woman from Chipata. Mama. She didn't do that because she knew this is part of his mission. She gave us hope that it will come to pass and the church will grow and we will all survive. So that hope that Mary had, that endurance that she showed at her worst moment, let us copy from her. I'm speaking as Lejo Manch.
As if I'm seeing the chair now is speaking as someone who sits at the school of my Maria.
Yes. Let us say, learn something from her about handling pain, handling disappointment. There's always hope at the end of it. There's always hope in the church. God may not answer our prayer when we need him to answer. No, Mungwanga, in the evening, you're giving him time. There are issues in Eastern Congo which is attending to. Kako ka issue, nikangonwa kakaza pending ako. But he will answer you at the right time. He will answer you at the right time. Don't despair. We need to have faith that all these issues that we are going through at individual levels, God is going to deal with them at the right time, and we will be okay. We will be okay. Just like Lumen TV, we will be okay. When I come next, they will move to the new building. Now, talking about new building, fellow men, Lumen TV needs a water recreation system. Lumen TV needs a borehole. Lumen TV needs landscaping. Lumen TV needs acoustics to be done in the studios. The same way that we help our social clubs, our football clubs, let us take a bit of that money and invest it in Lumen TV. What we have done, we have increased the capacity of the church to evangelize through Lumen TV.
Yeah, thank you very much. You've done justice. Hope indeed does not disappoint.
No.
Yeah, so in the mention of the program, even if you didn't say those issues of going to Njawe and Big Papa's soup, which I've never attended here, more is working, I'm sure they are there.
You need
So
to. We have 7th July. This year we have an outing at Kasisi Farm Institute. It's there. There we just go and have fun, take a walk, run, and roast a lot of meat and got soup.
Great.
Yes.
Hope does not disappoint. Messi, you can close.
Okay, Mr. Kandeta, thank you very much for coming through. We have really learned a lot. And we hope to put in practice what we have learned. And some of our brothers, and especially Mr. Mama, in case he's not paying the pasture fund, I'm sure going forward he will start contributing.
He's been paying. He's been paying, but if he can only double what he pays, I know. I monitor his. Him and this Mabudu, I check their parishes, how much have they paid.
I'm sure they'll start doubling because I know they can afford to double. Well, our dear viewers, we have come to the end of our program. Join us next time, same place. For now, it's bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.